Hi guys, Shelley here. Thanks so much, Nate, for allowing me to join you guys in your Earth Day collaboration. Just before I get started, some quick ways that I reduce waste in my studio are silicone pour mats. I don't use tablecloths anymore and get them all messy and then just roll them up and throw them out. These are reusable. Mine do look a little well used, which is because they are. And it's definitely my favorite way of reducing the waste from my acrylic pouring and blooming, which isn't the most environmentally friendly hobby, I know, but if we all make small changes, I guess that's what the whole point of this collaboration is. We can make a change together. So for me, reusable mixing sticks, reusable swiping tools. I'm moving now from these kind of storage cups for my paint into these bottles that I can refill. That's going to be my next mission to reduce waste, is to get into these bottles that I can just keep filling up, that I don't have to be throwing away any single-use plastic. So thanks for joining me again, and yeah, let's just get straight into my video. I hope you really enjoy it. Thanks, guys.
All right, so let's get started on the actual pour. So I'm using a recycled canvas that I actually found in the corner of the studio. One of my children has obviously taken this and done something in pink and purple and green. They didn't like it. They've wiped it off and put it back like I won't notice they've used it. So I'm rescuing it today, and I'm going to be doing my Earth Day collab pour on this recycled canvas. So here's my reusable pillow paint. So I scrape this up off my Fluid Art Co pour mat, and I strain it immediately into a small tub, and then I fill up these little containers with the leftover pillow. You'll notice that they're all a different sort of shade of grey or blue or pinkish purpley mauve colours. That's just a mixture of all the white pillow paint mixing with the colours that I'm using. So I am going to be using it around the outside of some white pillow in the center. The reason I am still going to be using a little bit of white pillow is I do want that real bright white behind my colors, particularly because the canvas isn't white anymore. I want them to really still look true to color, but I don't want to be spinning all my white pillow off the edge of this canvas. The whole point of this video is for me to be using that pillow paint to pop around the outside of my fresh pillow and use it as a vehicle to move my design out from the center, obviously without wasting too much paint. So I've just mixed up a whole bunch of earthy colors that I hope will represent the elements in a rough kind of sense. I was going to be putting some white air bubbles through my end piece, but I can't draw and I can't doodle. So it came out quite pretty in the end and I didn't want to ruin it. So we're just going to pretend that the air element is just in there somewhere. So what I'm going to do is, this is my recycled pillow paint. So I can use a fair bit around the outside of my main white pillow in the center. And I'm hoping that I've judged it perfectly so that when I stretch this painting out, I'm trying to make sure I don't lose too much off the outside, because I can't reuse the pillow over and over and over again. It's only really good for that first kind of time when it's, you can strain it. There's not too much pouring medium and colors in that pillow. So obviously if you keep doing it over and over, you're going to end up with too much pouring medium and colors in that recycled pillow. It's not going to act the same. So I do have to thin out these recycled pillows with a little bit of water, because for some reason the pouring medium, when it gets mixed in there, does make it quite thick and sludgy, and there is quite a lot of bubbles. So you want to thin it out with a little bit of water, mix it up so it's a little bit more fluid, and that allows the bubbles to escape as well while they're in those tall containers. So I've chosen my colors loosely based around the Earth's elements. So fire, water, air, earth. I think that's them. Probably should have double checked. But yeah, so here's my earthy colors. I'm just going to be like smushing these around. I want this to be my full background. So I'm trying really hard to judge the amount of paint that I've put on here to make sure that I get that full coverage of the color, but I also don't have a lot of wasted paint that's flying off the edge of this thing as well. So I'll just let you guys sit back and enjoy this little part of the video, and I'll see you on the other side. So I'm just adding a little bit more color onto this background. I really need to make sure that when that stretches out, I get that coverage. I've made this mistake before with longer rectangle boards. I don't always judge the right amount. And when I spin it out, I end up with a bare corner that doesn't have any color. And in the end, it kind of can ruin the whole thing. So I just want to make sure I get this right first time, because obviously I don't want to be scraping this and redoing it. That would be beside the point of the video. So we want to get this right first go. So I'm going to be putting what I think are minimal amounts of paint into the center of this ombre background. Now I've chosen some really beautiful colors, some turquoise and green for my water element here. I'm hoping that I'm going to get a fiery look, and an earthy, fiery kind of look with a little bit of the pink and violet in there. And then some kind of wavy looking, oceany, wavy looking parts. So, I mean, I don't really know, but I'm feeling real nervous at this point because I feel like it's looking more like some sort of cactus in the desert rather than flames going through an earthy kind of background. Now I'm swiping the pink, the magenta and the violet, through the sort of sides there. Now I've got this plan where I'm going to scoop my watery parts and sort of scoop them in between, these pinky waves, but I kind of only have a loose plan. I'm not really sure. I've never done a painting like this really before, so I'm just hoping at this stage that it is a one-shot wonder and I do get it right first time. I'm actually so nervous at this point. I was shaking with the palette knife. Now, Reason being is I just absolutely loved what I saw in the beginning of this pour, and I'm so nervous I'm going to wreck it. So I'm scooping very, very carefully. I'm trying to really calculate where I'm scooping it. And I'm also trying to foresee how it's going to look when it gets stretched out as well. So I'm trying to go minimal. Minimal's not really my strong point. I'm usually going way overboard. I think I know how to get negative space, but really I do suck at it. I'm always putting too much paint on, and not really being able to judge how far that stretches out with our stretchy bloom pouring medium. Us bloomers, you know, this pouring medium, it kind of, you've got the pillow underneath it, and a lot of kind of medium on top. It is hard to judge how much it's going to stretch out. Usually always too much for me. So I'm just going to keep fiddling around with this blue and try to show some restraint and really not go overboard with it. I'm doing a lot of flipping around because I tend to only have this one action I can do with my hand, like with the swiping tool. I can't really go back the other way, so I have to keep turning it around, which is annoying for you, but it's just the way it is. Otherwise, I don't trust myself scooping the other way. So I feel like I should be, I've just put a little bit of phthalo green on that tool and swiped it through with no cell activator because I felt like it was looking a little bit too bluey. So I've just added a little bit more green in there. Don't mind a bit of phthalo green in my ocean palette as well if I'm doing a beachy pour. So it's looking like a duck. I really liked how cool that looked with this little kind of duck neck sticking out and those wings. It's a blue duck with fiery wings. Or one of those rubber chickens. All right, so I'm starting to gather that I have got quite a good amount of paint on here. I don't think I'm going to be losing too much paint. I think it's going to be enough to stretch out and cover that background. And I'm really hopeful at this stage that it's looking exactly like I was planning. So at this point, I wish I tipped it up a little bit more towards the white side because I end up with this blue part that I really don't like. It's down the bottom there. I'm trying to embrace it. It is what used to be the duck's face and beak. It's now getting spun off the edge. But yeah, like jokes aside, you know what it's like when you get a little part of your painting and you don't like it. So you start to fixate on it. And then in the end, it's all you can see. So for me, it's that little thing down the bottom in the blue that looks like a seahorse's tail scooping back up. I really don't like it. I'm trying to ignore it and pretend I can't see it, but really it's bothering me. So I thought I'd do a little flyover and then watch the video back and see if it really did bother me enough to have to get rid of it, or if I could actually suffer that little bit being there that I didn't really love. So I'm absolutely stoked with the other half of the painting. I feel like I really got that kind of fiery look going on. There's a lot of movement up there in that darker section, which I think is really beautiful. So here's a little flyover of that close up. But the problem remaining is I really do decide that I don't like that little bit. So as you'll see in a minute, I do just cover it up with a little bit more piggy. And it worked out really, really beautiful in the end. I just did a little swipe, tilt, did a little spin, and I got that part looking more satisfactory for myself. And now I'm much happier with it. So that's basically, yeah, this little fix it. This is the end of my video. I'm actually the last person, so I should probably say a massive thanks to all the artists for joining me in this collaboration, and of course Nate for bringing us all together to share our ideas on how to save waste and still enjoy our amazing fun hobby. So thanks guys for watching, and yeah, I'll catch you guys all next time. Bye for now.